I wanted to go back to Mr. Painter to focus on an issue that I raised with regard to one of our community colleges, Westmoreland County. The grant that they received is focused on what is now basically a new industry in our state with the Marcellus shale gas extraction, which is leading to a lot of job creation and really a new industry in addition to a new, relatively new, or at least new to Pennsylvania in great quantity source of energy. But I wanted to ask you about that because it's what you have is an emerging industry that's creating jobs, but one of the concerns in the job creation area is that it'll be job creation, but maybe not enough of a nexus to job creation strategies that start with or have their origin in what happens in a community college. So this particular community college got a grant for a pilot program. I wanted to ask you about that in terms of the value of that, having a pilot program that is housed in a particular community college that is tied to a specific industry, in this case hydraulic fracturing in the Marcellus shale region. What's your sense of that, and how do you think that works as it relates to other communities and other pilot programs?
Let me say first that Westmoreland Community College is a very familiar institution for me, having come from Pittsburgh. Westmoreland Community College, along with the Westmoreland Fayette Workforce Board and my former board at Three Rivers, helped anchor an industry sector partnership around energy that included workforce boards from Western Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio, and Northern West Virginia. So the grant was a collaborative effort of about 6 community colleges from 3 states and about 7 workforce boards from those same 3 states. So there was a lot of work that preceded that grant application around understanding the market, lots of employer engagement in terms of where were the occupations inside the energy industry. The Marcellus Shale project, as you mentioned, is one that is emerging. Part of what is happening in Westmoreland County is a very strong partnership with Valaris, which is a oil and gas company out of Texas that is working in the Marcellus Shale region in Pennsylvania. That's a project where the training is about 4 months. It is very specific to that industry. So the industry was involved in designing that curriculum that they are working on. To the broader partnership with the community colleges, it's very essential. Community colleges are the favorite training place for the workforce development system, in part because, as was mentioned earlier, they're very flexible. They can adapt programming. We can look at industry-recognized certifications. So they're a great partner for us to have in the system. What we try to do at NAWB is to take those lessons that we are seeing from those pilot projects, and through both our annual forum and through workforceinvestmentworks.com and other sites, is to help people understand that those kind of promising practices are out there. Westmoreland is not alone. As I travel the country, which I do about 25 weeks a year, there are examples of where that has happened all over the country.
And I guess undergirding that kind of decision where you have a grant funding that's provided to a pilot program, what undergirds that, I guess, is a lot of intensive engagement between and among not just community colleges and employers, but a lot of folks in a region. And you described it in southwestern Pennsylvania, even going beyond that the state lines of southwestern Pennsylvania into other states. Huh?
It was, and part of that was we believe that the boards are very critical, because when it takes a community looking at the different issues about having people prepared for learning, workforce boards working with the PK through 12 system, working with community and faith-based organizations, so that the community understands here is the labor market we're in and here is the potential. Workforce boards working closely with economic development to understand where those investments are being made, so that, again, we look at the labor market as we see it, but also boards increasingly are looking at the labor market to understand where are the skills going in the industry sectors that drive our economy. So closely working with economic development, closely working with education.